All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about the most powerful tool you have, your own mind. This is all about Darius Foroux's Think Straight, and it's basically a practical guide for getting from total mental chaos to real clarity. And yeah, it can absolutely change your life just by changing how you think.
So, take a look at this. This massive scribbles, it's more than just a picture, isn't it? It's a feeling. It's that internal chaos when you've got positive thoughts, negative thoughts, sad, happy, and just plain confusing thoughts all tangled up. It's that little voice in your head that just begs, why can't my brain just shut up for a second?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say yes, it probably does. You know that feeling of being a slave to your own thoughts, where your mind feels more like a source of stress than a tool for success? That's what we're talking about, that feeling of being completely overwhelmed by mental clutter.
But here's the thing you need to hear. It's not just you. This is a totally normal human experience. What we're looking at here is mental clutter. And the very first step to clearing it all out is just recognizing that we actually have the power to do something about it.
So, where do we even begin? Well, it all starts with one simple, but honestly profound principle. You get to choose your thoughts. And no, this isn't about some cheesy, positive thinking stuff. This is a seriously powerful idea that lays the groundwork for real mental clarity.
The great philosopher William James, he just nailed this concept. He figured out something so critical. Random thoughts are always going to pop into your head. You can't stop them. But, and this is a big but, you can choose which ones you hold on to, which ones you give your precious energy to. That right there is your free will in action.
Think about it like this. You can't control the weather inside your head, all those random thoughts that just show up out of nowhere. But you can decide whether you're going to grab an umbrella and engage with the storm or just let it pass by. We are in control of our focus. The key takeaway here is that you are the director of your attention, not just some passive audience member watching whatever random movie your brain decides to play.
Okay, so we get the principle, but principles without tools are just, well, they're just ideas. So let's get into our toolkit and see how we can build a really practical set of mental filters to start sorting through all that clutter. This is your mental workout, and it starts right now.
Here it is, the first and maybe the most important filter you have. Is a thought useful or is it useless? See, a useful thought has a purpose. It helps you solve a real-world problem or it helps you understand something better. Thoughts like, what if I fail? Or, I wonder what they think of me. 99% of the time, that's just noise.
You have to turn this into a habit. For any thought that's trying to grab your attention, just pause for a second and ask this simple, powerful question. Is this worry actually solving a problem? Is this piece of information something I can use to make my life better? If the answer is no, you have my full permission to just let it go.
Now, our second filter comes from Stoic philosophy, and honestly, it's a total game changer. Just imagine your life is made of these two circles. Almost everything, the economy, what other people think, the past, it all exists in that big outer circle. It's totally outside of your control. Your energy, your focus should only be spent on what's inside that tiny little circle in the middle. So, what's actually in your circle? Well, your actions, your words, what you choose to want, and the effort you put in. That's pretty much it. Worrying about anything on that outside list is like trying to change the direction of the wind just by shouting at it. It's a complete waste of energy. This filter alone can probably get rid of 99% of your anxiety.
And the third filter is all about grounding your thinking in reality. We spend so much of our time living in that circle of assumptions, our beliefs, our guesses, what we think we know. But thinking straight means deliberately moving into the circle of facts, things that have been researched, tested, and actually proven.
So here's the challenge. You have to challenge your own mind. Our brains are hardwired with all these cognitive biases that just make us want to confirm what we already believe. So don't just trust your gut feeling without some evidence. Instead of assuming your new product is going to sell, go do the research. Instead of guessing what your boss thinks, look at the cold, hard facts of your performance. So we have the principle, we have the toolkit. But, just like having a gym membership doesn't automatically make you fit, just knowing about these filters isn't enough. You actually have to train. So let's get into the practical exercises, your mental workout.
This metaphor is so powerful. We go to the gym to work on our bodies, but what do we do for our minds? Way too often, we just want to relax it with TV or scrolling, instead of actually straining it with active learning and reflection. But clear thinking, that requires consistent training.
So how do you train? Start right here. Journaling.
And I'm not talking about writing Dear Diary. This is a tool for reflection. See, when you write your thoughts down, it forces you to actually structure them. Then, when you look back at what you wrote every week, you start to see your own patterns, your mistakes, and hey, your progress too. It's how you become your own coach. This quote from Darius Foroux really challenges our whole idea of what it means to be quick-witted. We tend to think that smart people are fast thinkers, but the opposite is often true. Your first reaction is usually just a habit, not a real thought. True, deep thinking is slow. It takes time to process, to question, and to finally arrive at a conclusion that's actually well-informed.
Okay, we've gone over the principle, the tools, and the training. But what does this whole transformation from chaos to clarity actually look like in the real world, under pressure? Let's check out the author's own story to see how this works.
Just imagine this for a second. You're in a new city, everything you own is packed in your car, and the day before you're supposed to move into your new place, the deal just falls through. The author's mind did exactly what ours would do. It went into a total spiral of useless thoughts. Panic, blaming himself, worrying. It was pure chaos. But then, he did something different. He made a conscious choice. He stopped that downward spiral in its tracks and literally commanded himself to think straight. He shifted from all that useless worrying to one single useful question. Okay, what is the solution? And the solution was actually pretty simple. Rent an Airbnb for a week. That's the power of this shift. Panic sees zero options. Clarity finds a way forward. So let's bring this all together into a tool you can use every single day. This is your daily thought checklist. Before you let any thought just consume your energy, run it through these 3 gates. First, is this thought useful? Second, can I control this? And third, is this based on fact? If it can't pass all 3, it doesn't deserve your attention. It's that simple.
And at the end of the day, that's the whole process right there. This isn't some one-time fix. It's a continuous journey. It's about training yourself every single day to move from that chaotic scribble of mental clutter to that clean, clear circle of focused, purposeful thought. So I'm going to leave you with this question to start your own journey. Don't try to clear all the clutter at once. Just pick one recurring, useless thought. Maybe it's a worry about the future, a regret about the past, a guess about what someone else is thinking, and make a conscious decision to stop feeding it your energy, starting right now.